Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. In today's video, as you can see from the title down below, I am going to be testing, trying on and doing a full day wear test for the new e.l.f. Camo CC Cream Hydrating Foundation. I do believe I did a full wear test for the original CC cream and I didn't think very much to it, so I'm excited to see what I think of this one. I do have very dry skin and foundation does tend to look quite textured on my skin. I have worked on my skincare routine since I tested the original one, but either way, I'm excited to see how this hydrating version is going to look on my skin and also how it's going to look by the end of the day. I did also pick up 3 of the new liquid blushes, so I got Peach Perfect, which looks like that. I got Dusty Rose, which is a little bit more cool toned, and then I got Pinky Promise, which is the most beautiful bright hot pink. I absolutely love it. I don't know which one I'm going to use today, but the foundation I got in Fair 100, and that's what that looks like. So it says that it is skin loving ingredients, tremella mushroom and hyaluronic acid. It's got SPF 30, full coverage, which isn't my favourite, but we'll see how that actually goes. A long lasting and dewy finish. I do tend to enjoy more of a sort of soft matte finish, but it might not actually be. So let's just get into this one. I have dampened my sponge, but I might just use a brush. And if you are interested in seeing a full day wear test, review, everything for the other e.l.f. products that have been coming out recently, I did do a video a couple of weeks ago with the liquid eyeliners and the mascara and the new brow pencil. I will be using those today, but I'm just going to be skipping over that. So, like I say, this is what the packaging looks like. I do like that it comes with a pump so that you can just disperse exactly the right amount of product, and then there's just all of like the ingredients and information on the back. I'm not 100% sure about this colour, but we will just see. I'm not going to be using any sort of primer today. I just want to see how this is going to look on my skin by itself. So similarly to the original one, it's very thick, like it's keeping its shape there on my hand, but also slightly thinner, where I'm certain the original one did just sort of stay in a ball on the top of my hand. So I'm going to just take my brush. Oh yeah, that is very much a thick foundation. Like you can see where I've been dipping my brush in there, so I've got a little bit on my brush there, and let's just paint this on. Yeah, this colour does look a little bit light, doesn't it? It's so hard to tell what colour you need online, and obviously this isn't coming to shops in the UK for a very long time, so I just had to guess. But it's okay. It's close enough, I feel. I can add a lot of bronzer. Okay, so I've tried to just do one sort of quite light layer. I'm aware that the colour is not right for me. I know I look a little bit like a ghost, but I'm not sure I like this on first impression. Let me just zoom you in and you might be able to sort of see what I'm working with here. So now that you are all zoomed in, you might be able to see a little bit. I feel like it's picking up on a lot of texture that I've sort of got down the bridge of my nose. That's not usually a place that I struggle with, but all over here it's sort of picking up on a lot of texture. And I actually thought, apart from like the very end of my nose, because if you saw yesterday's video, I've had a cold, if you can hear it, apart from the end of my nose, I thought I was actually having quite a good skin day. I feel like my skin looks quite textured, quite dry, but also glowy. Like I feel like it's picking up on a lot of texture on my forehead as well, sort of here and here, down my nose, sort of across my cheeks. It looks quite heavy, and it also is sort of grabbing on to bits of dryness, which I have dry skin, but this is picking up more than other foundations do, and where it's like a lot of coverage, this is a lot of coverage just for an everyday look for me. I do feel like it looks quite heavy. So yes, the colour isn't quite right. The colour is not perfect for me, but also I don't really like the finish of this very much, which is a shame. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting slightly better than this. So I am going to go off and do the rest of my face, and then I will come back and we can do the liquid blush together to see how this is going to go. I don't really know what to expect from this. I've heard people saying that this is meant to be a dupe for the Rare Beauty ones, or hoping that it's going to be a dupe for the Rare Beauty ones. I haven't tried those, but let me do the rest of my base and then we can come back and do these together. Okay, so that is the rest of my base done. Like I say, I've got a lot of other e.l.f. products on. I use the primer infused bronzer, the new eyebrow pencil, the new mascara, the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oil, the new lip liners. I've got one of the duochrome liquid shadows across the lid. I've gone all out e.l.f. So let me just decide which blush I want to wear today. I am leaning towards this one, Dusty Rose. Yeah, let's go for it, because honestly I need to leave. I am actually going off to work. So this is what the packaging looks like, and I thought when I first saw these online and also got them, I thought that they were matte, but once I look really closely, they are sort of pearlescent. They do look like they will be quite glowy. So let me get into the tube, and oh, that is an interesting little applicator. So it's almost circular, like spherical, and it feels very firm. So what I'm going to do is I'm like, do I dot this on, or do I put this on the back of my hand? I think I'm going to put it on the back of my hand, just because I don't know how pigmented this is going to be. So just going to get a little bit on the back of my hand. This is what the colour is looking like. Obviously it's still wet, so it will look a little bit glowy. And then I'm taking a Real Techniques Expert face brush, and I'm just going to pick up a tiny little bit. Oh goodness, yes, that is very pigmented. And I'm just going to move my hair out of the way. I'm just going to tap this onto the cheeks. Oh no, that's not too pigmented. That's really nice. That's just blended away. That has just blended so easily. That's given a really nice light little flush of colour as well. Now, I am not generally a light flush of colour kind of gal. I do like a lot of blush, but I will see if this is buildable. I'll just do a light layer at first. You know, just with that amount that I had on the back of my hand, like I've used up pretty much all of that. I do feel like that is giving me a really nice amount of colour. Obviously it's hard to tell, like I've got big studio like softbox lights on me at the minute. The sun hasn't actually come up yet, but I do really like the amount of colour there. So I will just see if I can build this up. I don't feel like I need very much more, but I do like a blushy moment. So let me just see if I can layer up a tiny little bit more. Yeah, that's definitely built up. I really like that blush. Obviously I can't speak about the other colours that I got, but I really like that one. I feel like that's giving a really nice glow to the skin, but it's still very, very pigmented, blended out really easily. I really like that a lot. I do feel like e.l.f. get their like base products but not foundations and not concealers, like bronzers, blushes, like the colour products. I feel like e.l.f. always get so right, and their eye products like mascaras and eyeshadows, I feel like they're always right. But foundations, I do struggle with e.l.f. foundations. I don't love this one on first impression, but I will in the future try this out with other primers and things underneath. Maybe I needed to use a sponge. I will try it a few different ways and get back to you on that one, but this is how all of this is looking. The time is currently 10 minutes past 7 in the morning. Like I say, the sun is not up yet, so I will be back in around about 12 hours and we will see how all of this is wearing. So it is now the end of the day. It is 8:30 in the evening, so I've had all of this makeup on my face for over 12 hours and my thoughts are I don't like it very much. I am going to zoom you in so that you can see what I'm talking about, but I feel like you can probably see from that far away. Everything is quite shiny, it's sort of breaking up in places. There's areas of my face that look like you could fry an egg on my skin. There's also areas that have basically no foundation left on them, like it's just completely worn away. I also feel like, strangely, it's sort of halfway through the day, so around about lunchtime, I looked in the mirror and I should have taken a little video to show you, but I felt like at that stage sort of enough of my oils had come through, the foundation had settled in just enough so that it was looking quite nice. Like it was looking a lot better than when I first applied it at around about lunchtime, which is a little bit strange. Like I even said to my husband at around about lunchtime, I'm trying a new foundation today, what do you think of it? And he said, apart from it looking obviously dry and nasty around my nose, which granted it did, it was looking okay. And I was like, I agree. When I applied it this morning, I really hated it, but sort of halfway through the day I thought it looked okay. Now, however, 12 hours later, I'm like, it's so greasy, it's so shiny, I look really greasy. Now granted, I didn't put any setting powder or setting spray or anything on my skin. I normally put a little bit of setting powder across my cheeks and a little bit sort of in the centre of my forehead, and I do feel like that's where I'm looking especially shiny now. So maybe I just need to put a little bit of powder on when I apply this, but like I say, I am going to try this again tomorrow and I'm going to use a sponge because I feel like with a little bit less product, like really blending it out, a little bit less product would probably work out okay. And I do feel like I can get away with this colour. It's not perfect, it's not at all, but I do feel like in the depths of winter I can get away with it with a lot of bronzer on and also a high neck jumper. So let me zoom you in and I will show you my problem areas. Don't judge. So if I try and keep quite still, then the camera should hopefully focus quite well on me, but I feel like in this area everything is looking very shiny. I do also feel like it's almost collected a little bit funny in like the creases of my nose. I do feel like it's looking a little bit funky in there, and also like across my forehead I do feel like across there is looking just really textured, really oily. I do feel like it's sort of bunched into like the creases and things on my forehead because I have, you know, expressions, and I do feel like it's sort of just clumping together a little bit funky in the movement of my face, but I'm not completely mad at it. Like, considering I didn't put any powder on, I do feel like it's okay. Another problem area, which I don't think I have ever had as a problem area before, is the very, very tip of my chin. Can you see where it's just completely worn away? And like, I haven't had, you know, I've just had this jumper on. I haven't had a high neck jumper on. I haven't worn like a scarf. Like, I haven't had anything like round my neck or touching my chin. So I don't know why it should have worn off like so dramatically on my chin, but it has. I can see that. I do feel like where I've got a little bit of a moustache, I do feel like it's picked up on a lot of the little hairs across my upper lip, which isn't cute. But, you know, in the sort of smoother areas, I do feel like it's looking okay. So perhaps just with a little bit of a setting powder, it might be a little bit more longer lasting. I will report back on that one. And then the only other thing to report on is the blush. And as you can see, I do still feel like the blush is popping. I do feel like that has lasted really, really well. Like, the colour is still very much there. And again, I didn't put any sort of a powder blush on over the top. So I'm absolutely thrilled with how that looks. I'm glad I bought 3 shades. I will use a different one tomorrow again, and I will report back. I might do a few shorts with these. Let me know if you want to see that, but I've got another 2 to be playing with, and I'm absolutely thrilled. How good would a liquid bronzer in this formula be? Because where I feel like it's sort of pearlescent and a little bit glowy, I feel like in summer, please, e.l.f., can you bring out a liquid bronzer in this formula? Because I think that these are a massive, massive win. The foundation I'm gonna have to report back on once I've had a little bit more time to play. First impressions, I just sort of don't feel thrilled with it, but again, I didn't do all of the things that I normally do, so I will report back on that one. Let me know what you think. Are you going to pick up either of these new products from e.l.f.? I would love to know what you think of them if you do. I will leave everything linked down below. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Millie. I post 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday. It's always affordable and it's always cruelty free. I do wear tests like this all the time with new mascaras, new foundations, new everything. I'm always testing the new makeup over on my channel. I would love it if you would subscribe down below. If you like this video, if you found it useful, please give it a big thumbs up. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.